Good evening. Welcome to the QCIS channel. Where on this channel, you get a daily dose, science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, tonight, I want to get into something that a lot of us, particularly if you're working for a state Department of Transportation or even a Federal Highway Administration, and even some Department of Public Works, have gotten into, and we talk about the environment. And I'm going to talk about a stormwater pollution plan that's known as a SWPPP. Now, there are many certifications that you can get. Now, the biggest ones out there are the CSEP and the SESWE and the CSIC. A few other ones out there, but EnviroCert is the one that is the most reputable because it's not just national, it's international. And when it comes to environment, we want to make sure that while construction is going on, our creeks and wetlands aren't affected by runoff. And I'm talking about sediment running into our wetlands and creeks. We also want to preserve the wildlife. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right into it. And we are going to talk about the SWPPP. Now, this is from a college that I'm very familiar with. It used to be Christopher Newport College. It's Christopher Newport University. They changed the name a long time ago. This is a small college in Newport News, Virginia. So this is actually the PowerPoint training that they developed. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 cents into it. And this is provided by the Grounds Department and the Environmental Health and Safety. The agenda. We'll talk about Stormwater 101, Stormwater Pollution Prevention, illicit discharges, general best management practices known as BMPs, spill response, and quiz. Now, earlier, we got into sediment and erosion control where we work with the state of Vermont. This is going to be similar. So, you can click on, I'm not going to click on the link. I'm just going to go through the text in this video. But here's the YouTube link from Christopher Newport University if you want to watch what's going on. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes. What is stormwater? Well, stormwater is rainwater or snow melt that runs off of rooftops, streets, sidewalks, etc. And here's where it can get a little hairy because that stormwater can carry oil, grease, trash, other pollutants with dirt, all kinds of other degrees. And the reason why they're pertinent is because they can get into our storm drains. And this is why you have to have storm drain protection on construction sites. You don't want anything getting into your storm drains. It's going to cause pollution, runoff, toxins, you know it. And this is what you have to understand about construction. Not only are we dealing with the environment, but we're also dealing with safety as well. Now, where does the drain go? Well, over at Christopher Newport University, all the water flows right to Lake Maury. And how does it get there? It flows through underground piping directly to Lake Maury and then to the bay without any filtration or treatment. You can see the map. Here's Christopher Newport University. Here's a little creek, Lake Maury, Kettle Pond, and out there to the bay. Now, over here is the James River. Why is it necessary to protect stormwater? Very simple. Pollutants can contaminate the habitats of plants and animals and the local water quality. And that right there is what we call a box turtle. And generally, if you find a box turtle and you have a project, sometimes you have to shut the project down for 6 to 8 months because the box turtle is on the endangered species list. So you don't want to affect any wildlife, particularly if it's on the endangered species list. Stormwater pollution prevention. That's what we're getting into. And the regulatory information. Okay, CNU is registered with the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality, known as DEQ, as an owner and operator of a small MS4. MS4 is the Municipal Separate Storm System General Permit, VAR 040090. Covers roads with drainage, catch basins, curb gutters, man-made channels, and drains that are owned and operated by CNU. Now, of course, there's a project going on a college. So that's why I'm going to continue to talk about CNU. And this is an example of a project because regardless of where you are, you have to follow this method. You have to have a permit. And the permit may be an NPDES permit. In Indiana, we used to call them a Rule 5, but you have to have some type of permit on that job. And this is the SWPPP. The SWPPP is the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan. We call it a SWPPP. Written document. Identifies a pollution prevention team. Identifies potential pollutants. Where are they located? What are the pollutants? What activities could contribute to pollution? Establishes best management practices, BMPs, and outlines MS4 project compliance. And the MS4 and pollution prevention team is a coordinator. Then you have a prevention team, which features a senior associate VP, associate director of grounds, director of facilities management, environmental health and safety manager, and coordinator. And we get into illicit discharges. Now, illicit discharge policy and reporting. Well, online, here's a site, grounds.cnu.edu. The purpose, of course, again, is to prevent pollutants from getting into the storm water. Now, you witness an illicit discharge, immediately inform your supervisor. Where is it? What is going on? You're informed of an illicit discharge. Immediately report it to grounds. Where is it? What is it? Who's involved? Grounds will respond. Stop work order so they can investigate the incident. Allow discharges. Well, you have water line flushing, landscape irrigation, diverted stream flows, rising ground waters, discharges from drinking water sources, foundation drains, air conditioning condensation. That's air conditioning condensation, irrigation water, springs, water from crawl space pumps, flooding drains, lawn watering, flows from streams and wetlands, street wash water, discharges of flows from firefighting activities. And here's some of the examples right here. An illicit discharge is when any of the following enter a storm drain. And we're talking about fluids from vehicles, oil, grease, paint, chemicals, wash water, animal waste, garbage, dirt, and salt. Here's an individual dumping chemicals down into the storm drain. That is not tolerated. It is illegal. Fines will go out if you're caught doing that. And here's some examples. Sanitary wastewater from showers, sinks, etc. Of course, you have discharge of oil, fuel from vehicles and equipment. Look at the paints, mismanaged excess road salt, sediment, cleaning chemicals, improper disposal of radiator fluid, non-residential vehicle wash water, grass clippings and leaves when intentionally blown in the drains. And you have cooking oil and grease. This is why you have to have compliance. This is what gets into the environment and creates pollution. Then we get into best management practices known as BMPs. General BMPs clean up your area on a regular basis. That means sweeping and picking up litter. Know how to report a spill or leak, and never pour or wash anything down the storm drain. Potential pollutant sources, dumpster sites, buildings and grounds maintenance and repair, equipment maintenance and repair, outdoor handling and storage of materials, loading and receiving areas, equipment fueling. Now, of course, again, we're dealing with Christopher Newport University, but the same regulations go on for any construction site, whether it's a building site or a road site. You must adhere to all of the environmental regulations. Waste management. Here are your dumpsters. Must be covered at all times. Do not allow containers to overflow. Don't store trash, even temporarily, on ground. Sweep and pick up any litter on a regular basis. Right here is a dumpster that's overflowed. Here is trash on the ground. Not stored trash on the ground. This dumpster isn't covered. The rest of these dumpsters are covered. Of course, repair. Use dry cleaning methods where possible. Sweep or vacuum. Locate materials, equipment, and activities away from storm drains. Schedule washing and painting for dry days. Ensure that all wash water drains to a sanitary sewer, pump, or other proper collection system, i.e., not the stormwater drainage system, and clean up spills and leaks promptly. Store leaky vehicles and equipment indoors, or if stored outdoors, store on concrete surfaces and use drip pans until repaired. Perform all vehicle and or equipment cleaning on the wash pad. Do not wash on a rainy day. Drain fluids from equipment and vehicles that are no longer in service or will remain unused for extended periods of time. Handling and storage of materials. Again, properly label all containers. Ensure that containers are in good condition. Place materials in low traffic areas to prevent accidents. Store materials in appropriate weatherproof containers. Shelter materials that must be stored outside. Clean up spills and leaks promptly. Again, for loading and receiving areas, keep area free of trash or other debris. Schedule deliveries. That's it. Schedule deliveries. Again, schedule deliveries of potential polluting materials on dry days. Ensure that vehicle or delivery vehicles are parked away from unprotected storm drains. Again, ensure that all delivery vehicles are parked away from storm drains. And the storm drains are unprotected. Again, ensure that delivery vehicles are parked away from unprotected storm drains. Clean up spills and leaks promptly. Fueling. Top off fuel tanks to prevent spills due to overfilling. Keep absorbent materials on site for use in prompt cleanup of spills. Periodically clean fueling areas using approved methods to remove accumulated fuel and grease. Transport equipment to a designated fueling area. Concrete surfaces. Spill response. Here are the procedures. Spills include but are not limited to releases of oil or hazardous substances in reportable quantities. Number one, if possible, shut off the source. Notify your supervisor, or if a danger or threat to people or property, call the police. What spilled, how much, where it is. Always use proper PPE. Contain the spill. Cover block and storm drains. For liquid spills, use absorbent materials or mop up small liquid spills and do not hose the spill to a storm drain. Like that, there's the spill, there's the storm drain. Remove the absorbent materials promptly and follow procedures for proper disposal. For dry material spills, cover the spill with a plastic sheeting to keep it from blowing until this spill can be cleaned up. Do not hose the spill to a storm drain. And if usable, place spilled material in original or properly marked container. Follow procedures for disposal of spilled material that cannot be used. And it does take some work, but this is a program that all of us, and even living at home, we should practice, because a good environment is healthy for us. I tell you what, we breathe a lot of toxins. And I know trying to keep everything environmentally sound for some of us is difficult, but it is worth it. Now, what I'm giving you is information from a building, and this is not even a construction project. But if it's maintenance, spills, they're all the same. Follow the procedures on a construction project the same way you would follow procedures for routine maintenance. Questions. Is their job, was there information specific to what I do at my job? Yes, in the SWPPP, there's information on BMPs, good housekeeping, site maps, activity-specific standard operating procedures. Where can I learn more about stormwater? Well, the SWPPP contains a lot of information about stormwater permit and requirements. Again, utilize this email, you'll get the information. You know, we're the ones in charge of safety, all of us, and following environmental procedures. And let's go with the quiz. Stormwater. Stormwater, the quiz. It's basically rainwater or snow melt that runs off rooftops, streets, and sidewalks. Where does see it in stormwater go? Well, if you've been watching this presentation, goes through underground drainage to Lake Maury and the bay. If you have a stormwater question, which department should you ask? Always go to the grounds department. Question 4. Stormwater Pollution Plan does which of the following? All the above. Which of the following are allowed discharges? All the above. Which of the following is not an illicit discharge? Well, this is a discharge, that's a discharge, that's a discharge. That's not a discharge. Just dumping material. That's dumping material. That is a no-go right there. Which of the following is a general best management practice that applies to any area of the university? Well, what you need to do is never pour anything down a storm drain. You might as well just say, think about it. Regularly sweep your area, pick up litter. Just say all of the above. All of the above. When reporting a spill, you need to relay the following information. What spilled, how much, and where is it? Simple as that. If instructed to clean up the spill, the best way to do it is you don't hose it down a drain. You don't you can let it dry, but you can use dry methods like absorbents. That's the best thing because you don't want to power wash it away because you could wash it down the drain. So use dry methods like absorbents. And that's about it. Short presentation on best management practices. Now, that was basically an example of maintenance. But we don't talk about maintenance too much. We basically talk a lot about construction sites. But if you think about it, anywhere where you have any type of chemical, you have to follow the same procedures. Bottom line, we're looking into the environment so we can protect it. We don't want to destroy any of the wildlife. A friendly environment can be a healthy environment. Just like safety, it's all of our responsibility to protect construction sites, make sure that we utilize the proper procedures. That means having the proper permit, understanding the regulations, and what happens if we don't follow the regulations. Bottom line, you have to keep everything environmentally safe. And that's this topic on the SWPPP, Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan, the SWPPP for CNU. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are looking for some political and some social content, check out my main channel, the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show channel. Now, here's where you can find me. Now, if you're watching the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show channel, after I record all of my videos, of course, YouTube is the first place the video goes for the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. Then it goes to X, formerly Twitter. Then it goes to Rumble. And then it goes to Truth Social. Now, for the QCIS channel, same thing occurs. First, the video goes to YouTube, then the X, formerly Twitter, then to LinkedIn. Again, thanks for viewing this information about the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan from the QCIS channel. On this channel, get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening.